Sanibonani Mzansi, Dumelang. Welcome to the Health Club, your trusted space to learn how to live better, feel better, and take care of your health. Today's episode is one we hope you'll never need, but one you must watch. What do you do when a loved one collapses? When a child starts choking? When time is running out and help hasn't arrived? We're talking emergencies and how to be ready for them. From CPR and Heimlich maneuvers to accessing the right help in time, we've got you covered. I'm Clement Manyetela, and this episode might just help save a life.
If you're scared of something, fix it. Enroll in a course, see what is the right way, and it's very easy and simple.
We do discover a lot of times that people are misinformed.
Yes, I do know what CPR is.
I don't know what it stands for, but I know what CPR is, yes.
I do, but I would not know how to facilitate it.
Today, we're stepping into a conversation that's about acting fast, thinking smart, and being prepared. Emergencies can happen anywhere, at home, at work, even in a taxi. And in those moments, the actions we take or don't take can make all the difference. But don't worry, we've made it simple. We spoke to everyday South Africans and medical experts to understand how you can respond when life throws the unexpected. Let's take a look at the following.
I'm Sister Renee van der Bank. I am a registered nurse, registered professional nurse, and I've been with the Resuscitation Council of South Africa for 29 years. What I'm talking today about is where I had a successful outcome after resuscitating my granddaughter of 5 months old, and she is today a cardiac arrest survivor. When I started the CPR, I was not prepared for the shock having a family member and my grandchild in cardiac arrest. But I was totally prepared for the situation. I actually just went into autopilot mode. I didn't think, I just did what I had to do to save her life. The brain can only survive 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen. After that, brain death occurs. So with me starting the CPR, I managed to actually keep the brain oxygenated so that there was no negative neurological outcome after the CPR situation. And since 1996, I have redone my course every 2 years. Eventually, I became a Resuscitation Council CPR, Basic Life Support Instructor, because I felt the need to train the public. There's no need to be scared. Enroll into a course. The Resuscitation Council have courses from mommies up to healthcare professionals. So if you're scared of something, fix it. Enroll in a course, see what is the right way, and it's very easy and simple to actually enroll in a course. And the course itself, I can tell you, not as a professional nurse, but to do CPR is easier to operate a cell phone. And obviously when you perform CPR, there's no negligence because the person is already in a cardiac arrest. Other misconception is that they're afraid because they don't know. They think it's difficult, and it's a lack of knowledge. So to clear all those things out, go for a course. Go for a CPR course.
It's really incredible how much a few steps can change the outcome of an emergency, and we're only getting started. When we come back, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and the most common mistakes people make when trying to help. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Health Club. So far, we've heard powerful stories that remind us just how fragile and precious life can be. But when emergencies hit, who shows up first? And are we prepared before they do? Joining us now is someone who knows exactly what it takes to respond in moments of crisis. Nkosinathi Hlongwane is the CEO of You Are Cared For EMS, one of South Africa's few black-owned ambulance services and a true leader in emergency medical care. Nkosinathi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start with what you do at You Are Cared For EMS.
Okay, You Are Cared For EMS, it's a private ambulance services. So what we do is that we are there to aid the current shortage that is there within the space of emergency medical services. Normally, the first responder or the first person to act whenever there is some form of medical crisis, it would be your government hospital, government ambulances.
Yeah.
However, it so happens that there is a shortage in the country, so hence we have been outsourced to assist the government ambulances. So what we do in the sense is that we are there to, like for instance, if there's a motor vehicle accident, we respond rapidly. And then if, for instance, there is your inter-hospital transfers, what that would be like transferring your patients from a clinic right up to the hospital, depending on the critical, because you understand that there's a different types of treatment that you get in a clinic to a hospital. So that would be our primary focus, or sometimes we can even do house calls. And depending on whether you have medical aid or not, we are able to outsource based on that. So that's our field of work. And
speaking about like going to homes as well, do you find that people actually understand what ambulances are there for, what emergency services are?
No, to a great deal, we do discover a lot of times that people are misinformed. However, sometimes someone may think that a certain incident is it's an emergency, but to then realize that what's an emergency to somebody, it may not be an emergency in our industry.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that one has to go through and check, like the knowledge behind the emergency medical sector. Based on the communities around us, it's quite scarce. People are not yet well informed concerning that. Normally, someone would just pick up a call because they just see something has happened, to their loved ones or something, without properly assessing if that call may need an ambulance. Because what happens sometimes is that if an ambulance would go out and then goes to an incident which is not that critical, someone out there
who needs the service, because as I expressed earlier on, is that there's a shortage of ambulances. Yeah.
However, whenever you call out for an ambulance, we tend to ask the relevant questions to see if it's a priority case. Because what we normally do is that we need to prioritize every patient that we come across. We need to prioritize whether they are, like for instance, we'd call it a P1 patient, that is your priority 1 patient. That is the critical patient that we come. Then you'd have up to priority 4. We scale it down from that.
Which is why the information then you get must be correct, so you know how to prioritize it. Most
definitely. Once we get that call, we'll be able to assess what type, because even in the ambulance services, there's rankings as well. The type of individual that must come to come in and assist, even they are ranked. You've got your basic life support, you've got your intermediate life support, and right up to the advanced life support, who's like more of a sort of a doctor. And sometimes it can even escalate to even a helicopter coming on the scene, depending on how severe the rapid response is needed all the time.
So your response then is informed by whatever information you receive. So how do we tick the boxes? Help our viewers understand when is it the time to call for an ambulance and call for the emergency services?
Immediately when there is an incident that you have identified and you can identify that it's life-threatening. You don't waste time, because in the EMS sector, time is critical. Those seconds can mean a difference between life and death. So as soon as you get, you can identify that this is a critical condition and it's a life-threatening condition, please do make sure that you do call the relevant practitioners to come and assist.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the mistakes that we made, or maybe even delays when we are even waiting for help, that we should be avoiding?
Sorry to put it like this, Clement, but especially when it comes to our black communities, most of us are afraid of health treatment. Sometimes somebody would be afraid to go to the hospital to get checked up or whatever. And sometimes we tend to delay the process, and that delay is actually causing more harm than good. And that is the the ideal part of the emergency services is that we need to ensure that we push that we do not cause more harm or put the patient at a risk. So it's immediately as impossible that whenever you identify that there's some case or there's someone that is really needing critical care, or you need to ensure that you connect with us.
Yeah, there are many people who think that emergency services, it's all about you arriving there and then you're driving. So you're picking up someone, driving them to hospital. What goes into preparing your team for these high pressure situations?
Yes, as much as you are saying that they're high pressure, because you must remember before a patient is seen by anyone else, we see the patient in their critical stage. You know, we are the ones that come to the patient, and we are the ones that try to alleviate as much as possible. It's either the injury or the illness that is involved. So when we come, we need to prepare them. We need to prepare them psychologically. We need to prepare them so that they can be able to handle the pressures, because there are pressures. Sometimes even the community can become a pressure. You know, when you're driving into a community, sometimes they don't understand, you being there, that you came to aid the community, not because of maybe they found that maybe there was a delay prior and then they are trying to fight with us. And these are the things that we tend to find. But however, we have come to aid someone. We have come to help somebody in that sense. So what we do then is that we take them up for psychological treatment and then try to ensure that they're always in a good state of mind whenever they work, because it does get to somebody, it does get to you whenever you see this type of incidences all the time. Sometimes you are coming into a crash and it's devastating sight, but you have to deal with that, put your emotions aside and go there and work with that to ensure that you save a life. And that's what's important after all.
What do ordinary citizens need to do better in emergencies while waiting for ambulances? Are there any life-saving actions that we often overlook?
Most definitely. Most definitely. I believe it could be that maybe we do not have the proper skills, the skills like, your first aid skills. We call those the first responders. These are the people that come to the scene before even any form of medical practitioner comes along. They are the ones that come to see the scene, and then they come and they assess the scene, and they are able to assist the patient there. So however, we tend to find that most of us do not have the skills that are required. Because remember, when it comes to medical, you need to know what you are doing. Because should you do something wrong, that is a life that is and it could be that it's a life that is on life support, and then you have come and then you have not given the proper medical attention to that, or the proper necessary things that you're supposed to do. However, then there are skills that are important that one has to have. Like for instance, things like your CPR, how to perform CPR. It's very important. Normally, we practice on a mannequin and to ensure that you do it properly. Things like how you would give the information, as you said, whenever you are involved with the patient and the patient is there, how to give information to the person that you're speaking to, the helpline, how to give the necessary information that is going to assist them in things like how to know the condition of the patient, what is the priority of the patient, just to give them the basic information that could be critical at the time, so that they can be able to dispatch the relevant help that is necessary.
Knowledge is truly power. As a black-owned EMS service, have there been any unique challenges or maybe breakthroughs in serving underserved communities? What's been your experience?
The underserved communities, we have had quite a lot of strains coming from them, because number one, you must understand that we are working with communities, and within communities, sometimes you may find that there's a lack of some sort of services, and when we have to now work within that community, we have to fill in the gaps. We have to, for instance, try to ensure that we do the proper assessment so that the patient can get to the relevant help that they necessarily need. It does happen at times that some people are uninformed. Like for instance, there's a car accident. Gone are the days where you just go to the patient, pick them, put them in the car and drive to the hospital. Because what could happen is that maybe they've got a spine injury. It could be, where there could be, and I see this in other African countries where they just do that. They just pick up, because I think their scale of emergency medical service level is not at that level. So they'll take a patient, put them in the car, drive them to the hospital. But then you could have caused more injuries, because just by moving a patient, the spine is a very vulnerable place where you need to ensure that whatever that you do it, cautiously. Because when we come as a medical service, we've got equipment that ensures that we do not cause more harm, but we try to limit harm as best as possible. So we try by all means to take the patient because the patient can't be left more injured when we have come. We need to ensure that we need to alleviate whatever problems that are there. Like things like the scene, we talk about scene where there is the patient, if maybe is lying on the road, that scene needs to be secured, so that they don't get a secondary injury. It needs to be the bystanders, the people that are there looking at the scene. We need to know how to control those people and on all of that. So this information is all important when we are coming to saving that life.
Absolutely. Now, when an emergency strikes, how ready are we? Really? Do we know what to do, who to call, or even if we are covered for urgent medical care? We hit the streets to find out just how prepared South Africans are when it comes to medical emergencies and whether medical aid like GEMS is part of their safety net.
Yes, I do know CPR, yes.
I don't know what it stands for, but I know what CPR is, yes.
I do, but I would not know how to facilitate it.
I know what CPR is, but I've never been in a situation where I need to perform CPR.
Cardiovascular response. It basically works when the heart of a person starts to stop, and the other one comes and pumps it so that it can continue to beat again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do know it.
I have no idea, bro.
Yes, I've called an ambulance for my late father when he had stroke, hypothermia. It was in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's the day I couldn't forget calling an ambulance.
I think my friend's dad was sick, so I was visiting her and she was there and the mom called the ambulance.
Ke kile ka founela ambulance ke hopola abuti wa ka o na le metsi, so e ne le ka bo ma 6 PM, so re founetse ambulance maybe 3 times, sabi 3 times be ba araba ga ba jwetsa like everything ho etsaetseng, then be ba re ba ya tla. Unfortunately, ba fihlile after 3 hours, then be ba complaina ebile ba re shout or like ha ga ba specific go etsalang, it's a minor injury, tlamehile re misitse sepetlele ka bo rona.
Oh, when I was still young, I encountered that problem whereby I need to call an ambulance, but the ambulance delayed because of what? The reason why the ambulance delayed it is because it was a public. You understand what I'm saying? So my mom was sick, and then it took a very long time to arrive, and then the sickness was worse when the ambulance arrived. You understand what I'm saying?
If someone collapsed in front of me or had a seizure, I would most likely call an ambulance because I am not trained. I wouldn't know what to do. I'll just look and panic a bit, but I'll call for help.
The first person I would call in emergency is my sister.
I have helped someone in an emergency situation. I don't think I was calm enough. I think in emergencies you need to be quite calm, but eventually the person was helped, and yeah.
What stands out from those public responses is how varied our levels of awareness are. Some people really know what to do. Some people just don't know what to do. We still have Nkosinati in studio with us. Nkosinati, where do people get this kind of information? Because we're saying they must know how to do CPR. There's certain things they must know so that they don't cause further harm to the people that are waiting for emergency. So where do they go to find information and to train for all of these things that could help the guys waiting for emergencies?
Yes, we in the country, I think we have moved towards your higher training educations and so forth.
Yeah.
They are more stricter now. Eventually, in the previous, it was not this strict, but however now it's quite more strict. We need to find a place that can give you an accredited training on that, because as much as we can say, like, your first aid, it's quite an important subject that one has to go through. And yes, you can, there's a lot you can get from online. However, to do it properly and to have the proper practices, I would suggest that you do go and find a training provider. We do offer some of the training provider, some of the training ourselves, to try and help and teach the public on how to go about whenever they are faced with an incident of that sort. Yes.
Do you sometimes deal with areas or communities with limited access to emergency services where infrastructure is just a challenge?
Most definitely, especially in this country, especially in the rural areas. You do find that you want to attend to a scene, but it's in a very, very, very rural area, and the roads are very bad. Sometimes the ambulances, they can't go through, especially if the weather is not conducive on the time. So however, we do have those challenges where we are unable to get to the community that we want to serve, depending on the location that we are. But we try by all means to ensure that we get to the person, as best as possible, so that we can be able to give them the aid that they require.
Well, Kosenati, thanks for the work that you and your team do, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here, and it's clear that knowledge is really something that can make a difference between life and death. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll look at how medical schemes like GEMS are helping their members prepare for the unexpected. Welcome back to the Health Club. Today's episode has reminded us that emergencies don't wait, and that being prepared is just as important as getting help, whether it's knowing who to call, where to go, or how your medical aid works. It all counts. That's why medical schemes like GEMS are investing in ways to empower their members during life's most critical moments. Let's take a look at what GEMS is doing this week to keep members protected, informed, and ready.
In this edition of GEMS News, we talk about being prepared for medical emergencies. Emergencies can happen without warning. A quick action can save lives. Knowing how to respond swiftly in crucial situations such as choking, cardiac arrest, or sudden illness can save lives. Skills like CPR, basic first aid, and recognizing emergency signs are vital for everyone. GEMS encourages members to equip themselves with these essential life-saving skills. Being prepared today could save a life tomorrow. GEMS provides 24-hour unlimited emergency medical assistance for our members. We aim to be there for you and your loved ones when you need us most. Call the GEMS emergency number on 0800 44 4367. Should you need assistance in an emergency. For more information on first aid and emergency preparedness, visit the GEMS website or contact us through our social media platforms.
As we wrap up this season of the Health Club, we want to thank you, our viewers, for being part of this conversation. Each week, we've explored the real health challenges South Africans face and the small, powerful steps we can all take to live better. From fitness and mental well-being to emergency care and aging with dignity, it's been an honor to walk this journey with you. To our partners at GEMS, thank you for your unwavering support. This show has never just been about medical aid. It's been about access, empowerment, and care. And while this season ends here, the journey doesn't. GEMS remains your trusted partner, working towards a healthier you. Until next time, stay well, stay informed, and take care.